Well, Chess, we learn so much from wonderful guests like Christy Smith here. I like what she's saying. This book addresses the tsunami of leadership issues, and this is what we face with the leaders that we go speak to or we coach with. Is that, look? I'm trying to deal with AI. My CEO wants everybody to return to work because we've paid 100 million for this new office space. The war, rising prices, etc. There's a lot that leaders are facing. How do you address that all? So I think she's given us some really effective strategies here.
Yeah. Well, I love that, human powered leadership,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it says it all, right? And this isn't a nice to have. The title is It's Essential. That, emotional intelligence, good start. Now you've got to get to emotional maturity. It's kind of like what we would talk about psychological safety in Anxiety at Work, our book. You've got to raise that to emotional safety.
Yeah.
And how do you create that? I loved when she said the best leaders are curious.
Mm.
Be curious and be
And
curious.
wasn't it like
About,
insatiably curious? Let me see that. I
yeah.
wrote it down.
Well,
I'll
be,
find it again. But yeah.
and be curious. Like we always say as leaders, be curious about, work and your market.
Yeah.
She says, no,
Yeah.
be curious about your employees.
Yeah.
Be curious about your team. You said, know their stories
Yeah.
and make that connection, which I think is just really wonderful.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah, insatiably curious. Yeah, but I like that. Yeah, I like where you're going with that. Is that's something we need to reinforce? Is that's what human-based leaders in this AI-driven world, return to work, war, etc., care about people. And the fourth thing she says, like, first, give them a purpose, give them some agency in how they work and what they're working on to some degree. You can't let people run wild, but you can give them a little bit more of what they want to do. Care about their well-being, which is, of course, the whole idea of our podcast. And then finally, create connection, which I know you're very big on. Are we
Yeah.
creating a connection for people?
And she said, "Look, it's not a lack of intelligence that people have. It's a lack of creativity. Because I am a big fan of saying, look, every now and again we got to get together. However often that is, there's something about humans being in the same space." She goes, "Absolutely, zip code dinners." I thought that was genius, right? How easy
Love
to
that.
do.
Yeah.
Give a little stipend, doesn't have to be a fancy restaurant. Could be a drive-through. No, I'm kidding. But you want to make
Take
it
everybody to
nice.
Arby's. Sure.
Yeah. They've got the meat. Anyway, but this idea of be creative in how you do it, because people are looking. When she said 1 out of 5 people at work are still lonely, that's a lack of creativity. I find this with my sons, right, in their workplace, is so you have to be in the work 3 days a week, let's say. But if your 3 days don't match up with your team's 3 days, you're still all by yourself. He would say to me, "Look, Dad, I'm in the office. I'm the only guy there." He says, "It's great that they've got the
Yeah.
snacks and everything. I just pile it into my backpack at the end of the day because there's nobody there, free snacks." That idea of being creative, like, are we all going to be in the office on a Wednesday? Are we going to do a zip code dinner? Are we going to get together and do whatever? But that insatiable curiosity about your people, I thought was just such a great takeaway.
Well, and she's also saying it, look, it's about yourself too. I liked what she said. It's like, assess yourself. I mean, that's why we have jobs as executive coaches, is so few leaders are or are introspective or self-aware. So the first part of that is be aware of yourself. But then what do? When we go work with somebody? We do a 360, right?
Yeah.
Our mentor, Marshall Goldsmith, taught us this, is you do a stakeholder-centered assessment of the people. You listen to what people, and that's always a hard thing for them to listen to because they think they're great and they're wonderful and they walk on water, and there's things for them to improve. And finally, she said, put together a personal plan of change of your behavior, because it's only through that. And as again, Marshall tells us, actions change much faster than perception. It takes a long time to change people's perception of you. You got to work on this.
Yeah. And lastly, she said, think about yourself as a leader. Who are you as a leader? Who do you want to be as a leader? And then step back and have conversations with your colleagues. Who are they and what kind of a leader do they need? Just really a lot of, pensive. Like get the data,
Yeah.
get the data, think about it, and then, like you say, put together a plan. Well, what a delight. Pages and pages of notes, and it's going to be
Yeah.
great.
Hey, somebody, what a smart, insightful guest who's pushed us. Her book is doing really well, hit a lot of bestseller lists. So we want to thank Christy for joining us today. When you think of smart and insightful, of course, you think of our producer, Brent Klein. Also, our booking manager, Christy Lawrence, who helps us find amazing guests like Christy. We want to thank all of you who've listened in. The smartest podcast audience in the world. If you like the podcast, share it, download it, tell your friends. Visit thecultureworks.com also for some free resources, including more information about our best-selling book, Anxiety at Work.
Absolutely. And we love speaking to audiences, whether it's in person or virtual. We speak all around the world. We speak on topics like culture, teamwork, resilience. Give us a call. We'd love to talk to you at your event. We love being busy and on the road and preaching and teaching the power of mental health and gratitude and so on. Well, listen, always a pleasure to be with you, Adrian. I second on Brent Klein, brilliant. Christy Lawrence, we don't have guests without her. We've got a great team for which we are very grateful. As always, I give you the last word.
Hey, thanks everybody for joining us. Until next time, we wish you the best of mental health.